In conjunction with Bravo Programs of America, I'd like to take this opportunity to present a tutorial on income tax resources. My name is Gerald Filipek, and I am a supporter of Bravo Programs of America. In addition to that, I also happen to be the treasurer of Bravo Programs of America and on the board of directors. In addition to that, I also happen to be a certified public accountant with over 30 years of experience and found that resources are available for everybody to use, especially for college students to use. And that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about resources available for students to prepare, file, and stay in compliance with the IRS code. Now, your first resource and your biggest resource is going to be the IRS. That's right. I said the IRS. Let's take a look at irs.gov and find out all the great things that you can do when you're here. Oh, look, there's happy people on the face of the site. It's all beautiful. But look at the tagline. They're helping people to understand and meet their tax responsibilities. This is not a scary site. This actually is a very good resource for you. All the great things you can do are listed down here at the bottom. Get your refund status. Hey, where's my amended return? I like the word free. Explore free filing options. Okay, and that's the first thing we're going to talk about. There are two resources that you can use here on the IRS website in order to file your tax return. The first resource is for IRS to actually file the tax return for you, prepare it and file it. You send the information to them, they prepare the return. You have to you have to meet some eligible requirements. First of all, you have to live in a state that they're actually supporting. The majority of our recipients of Bravo um, don't live in any of these states. They live in Michigan, and of course, Michigan's not on the list. So that makes us go back to the beginning and try something different. We're going to go back to the free file, like this a lot. The IRS free file basically means that you can do it two ways. You can choose from guided tax software, okay? And guided tax software is something you might be familiar with from advertising on TV, TurboTax and H&R Block tax returns, online filing. Well, the IRS has endorsed 8 different tax software providers that you can use for free. You do have some qualifications, and we're going to take a look at those real quick. Oh, it's even available in Spanish too. Let's try to find a trusted partner. We're going to assume that you're single, that you're 20 years old. Come on. That you live in the United States and you live in Michigan, and you want to file a free return as well in Michigan. And you're not in the military, don't receive any active military pay. The first concept that may be a little unclear is adjusted gross income. In the business, we call it AGI. What is AGI? Well, it kind of walks you through it right here. You start with income. We all know what wages, tips, and other compensation are. What you need to do is estimate the amount of wages, tips, and other compensation you may earn. I'm just going to use $30,000 for the example. There's also self-employment gross income. If you are a contractor and you receive a Form 1099 NEC at the end of the year, you are a self-employed contractor and you qualify for self-employed gross income. Many college students, many young people take this kind of job on just in order to make ends meet, and it's great. Let's just say you earned $10,000 from doing that. We're going to assume that you don't have any pension income or unemployment compensation, but if you did, you would enter it here. And a scholarship or grant that must be counted as income. What? Well, as it turns out, not all scholarships, grants are tax-free. Common misconception is that they are, but some aren't really aren't. They're only tax-free is if you receive a scholarship, a fellowship grant for an educational institution. Okay, you can't do self-learning here, self-study that has a regularly enrolled body of students in attendance at the place where it carries on educational activities. In other words, got to be a college, got to be a university. And the amount it's tax-free is the amount that the university requires you to pay for tuition, all right, books, fees, supplies, or anything else that's required to complete the course. Chemistry course, you got to pay lab fees. Those would be tax-free if you're getting a scholarship for that. What's not tax-free, though, are incidental expenses such as room and board, travel, optional equipment, out-of-pocket living expenses. Now, the best resource to find out how the university is allocating your scholarship money is to actually get a financial transcript from the university, which will show exactly where your scholarship money is going. Let's go back to the free file, though. Okay. Um, we stopped here. You might have an investment interest account, maybe a savings account's got a few dollars worth of interest. Any other types of income go here. Down here, there's adjustments to income, but we're going to assume that you don't have a student loan yet that you're paying on, and that you don't have any qualified educator expenses. You're not a teacher, but some teachers are working on a master's degree, and they might have income. Okay. So they might be qualified educator expenses. We're going to assume there's no contributions to IRAs or health savings plan, and certainly not to alimony. So as a result of this little computation, your adjusted gross income is $40,000. Okay. We're going to assume that you don't qualify for the earned income tax credit. That's a whole 4-hour presentation that I could do that we don't need to go into here. We'll just say 0 and say, no, you're not eligible. Voila. You've got 4 options here to file your tax returns for no charge. Okay. Pre-tax, and these are all endorsed by the IRS. They're all fully legal and secure, safe and secure. What you're going to need in order to file your tax returns includes statements from the bank. If you're paying with credit cards, you need to keep all your credit card statements for the year, at least keep them available, whether online or in paper, your bank statements for the year, and the year-end statements that you receive from these companies. Enter those in to select which tax prep software you'd like to use, enter those, and off you go. The other way that you can do it for free with the IRS is to do fillable forms. This is where you would actually get a fillable PDF form, just like your Bravo Scholarship application. You would fill it out online and print it and then mail in your tax return. I wouldn't recommend doing doing it this way. Now, in the event that all of this is still way over your head and you don't want to get involved with it, there is one more resource that's really, really critical and really cool. It is the Accounting Aid Society. The Accounting Aid Society is located in Detroit, Michigan, and they will, especially for students, prepare and file your tax return at no cost. They also deal with the IRS, and they can be a great asset to you when it comes to starting your own business. So the Accounting Aid Society is something that I would certainly look into as an option if you just don't want to do it yourself. But doing it yourself, in my opinion, is at least the best way to go because it gets you started and familiarizes you with exactly what you're going to need to do for the rest of your life. And to count on the IRS is not a bad thing because they really do try to help people understand and meet their tax responsibilities. With that, once again, the Accounting Aid Society, the IRS.gov, all good resources for you to utilize and take full advantage of during your college career. Thanks so much for your attendance and your attention, and all the best of luck to you in your future endeavors. Take care.